Hey there, Constantine here, showing you guys Destiny Alpha. Just got access to it last night. Today is Saturday the 14th of June, 2014. But yeah, so going through, I cut out a few things just so it didn't waste a lot of time. But here at the beginning, I'm going to show you guys, because when you start off the game, there is a character creation part. You get to choose between the three classes, which is Hunter, Warlock, and Titan. And that should be coming up here in just a second. Loading screens. Here we go. So yeah, your Titan, which is basically like almost like a warrior class to some degree. You can read the details there. Those are kind of like the special abilities beyond what the character normally does. Next class, the Hunter, which is not really a sniper rogue type per se, but is probably geared more towards like a sneaker, as you might call them. And then, of course, you got your Warlock class here, which is more like your, I guess, magician style. All of them, of course, use weapons and will knife somebody. I'm sorry. The knife is a sword aspect, I guess you should say, or I should say, for the Hunter class, which is what I chose here. And real quick, I just wanted to show you guys the difference. You've got three types you can choose from. The blue guy, which is here, is the Awoken. There's the Human and the Exo. The Exo looks more like the robot style, which is what I chose. And then, of course, there's going to be different options that you can choose as far as like facial features, things like that, your marking colors. I went ahead and I'm about to skip ahead here, but I wanted to show you guys. So I'm going to choose the EXO and then get to give you an idea of the different faces you can choose from, color schemes. Same for your head feature, which is that thing in the middle and whatnot, but there's the character I wound up creating. And so now we get into the game, and of course, here it goes, telling you it's alpha. Which, yeah, I've already checked online. The stats do keep up, which is nice, so already good things. When I played the game, because I did play it last night, I haven't played much of it today yet, but I will play a little bit later. But the game, so far, I have not seen any glitches with it. There are a few things that I would probably change a little bit, only because it can be a little weird. And I'll show you what I mean here in just a moment. It is interesting if you've ever played Defiance or know what Defiance is as far as seen it played. The game is very. It's an MMO FPS style game with minor RPG elements to it. Only because you do level up and you can upgrade
Skywatch is
certain
just on
things.
the other side of the steps.
As far as abilities go.
And it's surrounded by followers.
But it is technically a
I'm ready if
FPS
you
style
are.
game that is MMO. However, here at the beginning, whenever I'm going through this, you'll notice I almost run into nobody. Partway through the game, as a matter of fact, at the end of this clip, whenever I cut it, because I'm going to make two parts for this beginning part. But here, you start off technically as a mission for your single player campaign, which isn't really single player per se, but anyway. You go through and you do this mission. By the way, I'm sitting here trying to figure out some of the controls because I did not read like I'm supposed to what the control scheme is, but, you know, hey, I like doing things the hard way. But anyway, I'm going through this game, and it makes me feel like the way Defiance is, where it's the open world, sandbox style game, obviously MMO, but it's almost like it's got multiple sandboxes because there are other worlds you can go to. So, for example, here I'm on Earth, or in the Russia zone, because on the map it actually says Russia, Earth. But there's Earth, the Moon, which I haven't been to yet. What else? Venus, Mars, and then there's this area called the Tower, which you'll see at the end of the second video, or the second part to this. It's basically like the way I described it to a friend of mine was, it's kind of like if you've ever played World of Warcraft, and I know, I'm sorry, I hate saying it, but you're in Ironforge. It's just like that in the sense that it's this one all big ass kind of city area where all other multiplayer or online players go, and you can go and sell, buy, trade, do all this stuff. I did not see an auction house, which please tell me there's never going to be an auction house, because I think that would be the dumbest thing to do to this game. But there's like different vendors or different characters that part of their missions will give you items, and then you can go into their vendor options, but they have some pretty cool stuff. But you'll see all that in the last half of the second video or portion of this. Right now, I'm just out in the open wasteland, and this is where, for me, mostly because I guess I was too awestruck by the environment and what was going on, and just wanting to play. It was really difficult, I found, to figure out where the hell I was supposed to even be going. Now it tells you to pull out your little cube-looking thing to see where you're going. The problem is, if you don't pay attention, you'll see where the icon is momentarily, then it disappears after a while, so you have to rely on up in the upper left, that little compass thing. And as you notice, it goes away at certain points, so it's so light that it made it almost impossible to realize where I was going at first. So yeah, at one point in this part of the video, you will see me go underground into an area I should not have been in, and you'll see what I mean when I get there. But yeah, overall, it's a fun game. I was definitely enjoying it last night. I have yet to run into any glitches. It is very beautiful or pretty. I mean, whatever you want to describe it as. I mean, you guys should be able to see here. It is very clean. I mean, I guess to some degree the editing might give it a little bit of a tarnish compared to the way I was physically seeing it for myself on my TV and everything. And just to give you perspective, I've got a 50-inch TV that does, the 3D and everything like that, so it looks awesome. So here's where I'm going into the underground part, and they have these loot boxes. By the way, a lot of these stuff in this game requires you to hold the button down to do the action. In certain cases, there will be just press the button, but in most cases, it'll be just like you saw there, where it's hold the button down. So, of course, going around, just trying to explore the area, see what's going on, checking out like the lighting aspects. All of it is very nice detail, and this is on PlayStation 4, by the way. Which, let me explain. This was kind of weird because it shocked me. I have originally pre-ordered this game for the Xbox One. I know everybody who's a PlayStation owner right now is going, ooh! But I pre-ordered this for the Xbox One originally, and as of a couple weeks ago, wound up getting PlayStation 4, just because most of my friends hadn't gotten an Xbox One yet, and I had nobody to play with, and I had kind of met a few people via YouTube who were big on PlayStation 4, so I decided, hey, I'll go ahead and get a PS4. Technically, I don't spend any money, so I had extra cash laying around, so picked one up. Plus, Best Buy's credit program really helps out a lot. So I pre-ordered this for the Xbox One, and literally last night I got an invite. I guess technically I saw it last night, but it showed up Thursday evening, close to midnight, stating that I had been granted access to Destiny Alpha, or I was one of the chosen people to be in Destiny Alpha. And I was like, what the hell? Why am I getting on this PlayStation 4? Let me check Xbox One. I went to Xbox One. Nothing yet. I'm like, okay. So I pre-ordered it on the Xbox One, and yet got alpha access on PlayStation 4. Okay, whatever. I'll take it. Now, here's where I was talking about. If you notice, that guy is way too high level for me. Because my character is, level, I think at this point, 2 or 3. I might be 4, but doubtful. And those guys, I don't know if that was a question mark or 22, but, regardless, way too high level for me, and I should not have been down here. I wasn't even going the right direction. Like I said, I kind of got lost for a little bit because part of it was just enjoying the fact of playing. Now it is interesting, if you notice, I was actually able to do some damage. Granted, what is that, 1? But, of course, here I am, not really paying attention, just being balls to the wall, dumb. Because if I were smart, I would have paid attention and been like, whoa, too high level, get the fuck out of there. But no, what do? More punishment. Oh, yes. You know you love it. It's okay. I laugh at myself all the time for doing dumb shit like this. Hey, look. Let me see if I can try and sneak attack him. Nope. Nope. God, I'm an idiot. Oh well. Hey, look. I died again. Oh, hilarious. Anyway. So, yeah, I finally learned my lesson. It's like, ooh, icon. I should probably get the hell out of here. Oh, look, some bad guys. Yeah, I've noticed that also in the areas, bad guys have a tendency to respawn again. And I think that's to some degree, obviously, because it is an MMO. And so if other people were happen to be jumping in and doing this mission at the same time or whatnot, they could be able to come in and take out enemies as well. Because obviously that would suck if, say, I run in and kill all the enemy, and then you come in right behind me, and you're like, what the fuck? Okay, I'm never going to level up if I can't kill anybody, so... But yeah, so I decide I'm going to go back up top and figure out where I really need to go. And, of course, along the way, why not do a little bit of grinding, check out some more of the environment I hadn't seen yet. I just love, I mean, yeah, I love throwing those grenades. It's so awesome. Which, by the way, I can't quite tell, only because it doesn't really tell you if it's a weapon, like ammo, or if it's grenades, or if they're just auto. Like, right now it looks like my grenades are recharging, but there are times when I'll run over stuff and it'll click, but I can't tell, is it ammo for the grenade, like to help recharge faster? Is it ammo for the gun? Because there are times when my gun's been full and I'll hear a click and I'm like, I don't know what that is. And sometimes you can't really tell if you're picking up, well, at least I couldn't tell. Like right there, okay, yeah, it shows that you're picking it up, but sometimes when you're in the heat of battle, you can't really tell if you're picking, like what you're picking up, because you're too busy concentrating on what's in front of you that you're either getting shot by or that you're trying to kill. But as you can see, the lighting is awesome. The shadow effects, the water even looks good. I mean, if this is alpha, dude, I can't wait for beta and the real game. And yes, I know, for the most part, the graphics aren't going to be that much different, but you know there's going to be some cleanup work. There always is. And then just trying to, I mean, once I play some more of the alpha and see what else is unlocked, because, I mean, it already seems like there's a lot of stuff unlocked for this being an alpha game. I was actually not expecting as much. Honestly, I was expecting to be able to do 1 or 2 missions and be done with it, but so far, whenever I get to the next half of this portion of the video, I'm sorry, the part 2 of me going through this, you'll actually see where I can go onto a map and choose the different areas, and so it makes me think that they may have actually given us a good portion of the game just even in alpha, which don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining in one bit. As a matter of fact, this will be one of the few games that has ever given as much, because most games, they don't give you much, like Hardline, for example, the new Battlefield game that's coming out. The beta's out. I actually am enjoying playing it so far. I mean, I haven't played a whole lot, but I have played a little bit of it. And it's fun. But there's only 2 game modes in 1 map. And I understand. It's beta. You're not going to get a whole lot out of it. But for a game to do this much in an alpha, like I said, alpha, So if you don't understand, alpha is generally not like for the public. It's usually what developers and maybe some people that developers bring in, like friends, family, whatnot, to try it out. Maybe they do a kind of very special, like they did with this, where they'll randomly choose individual accounts to jump in and help play it with them. A lot of this alpha stuff is testing functionality, gameplay. I mean, it's a lot of test work. This is the reason it's pre-beta is because of the fact that they want to make sure they get the majority of the bugs worked out, and it's usually going to be only small sections or pieces. Then, once they've gotten enough of those sections and pieces of the code all figured out, tested, and worked on, then they'll give you a beta because it'll be pretty much the game with, just the key points of the game to give you an idea of what's coming out. So that way they can ensure that everything's still finally good before they do the final cleanup work and then release it as an actual game. Although I know a lot of games recently have been doing this stupid pay-to-play beta or whatever, and it's like, dude, why would I pay for something that you're, in essence, wanting me to test for you? But anyway, I digress. So yeah, like I said, at this point, I am now actually heading towards where I'm supposed to be going. Of course, just trying to get some kills in. Easy kills, of course. Hang back, shoot a few, draw them out. Mostly because I want to kind of go through this, see what the different feel is from just running in and trying to take on everybody to hanging back, seeing how the AI controls, which I do to some degree like and to some degree don't like, because they're, in certain aspects they're predictable, and in certain aspects they're smart. Like, they will jump out of the way, run out of the way, try and take you out, run around a box and try and kill you. But in some cases, like for example, you'll notice some guys are just walking in a pattern. I'll shoot one. If I move far enough away, they go back into their pattern. I mean, it's like, okay, I was expecting them to either run me down or run off somewhere else, not just go right back to the habit that they were doing. Yeah, like that guy, why is he standing out in the open? He should have like started running at me or tried to run off to maybe get some other guys. It's small things. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining because I like the game thus far. It's more of a, hey, it would be nice if this did this. Because I really do not have any complaints thus far. And by the way, as you can tell, ammo doesn't really seem to be that big of an issue. I seem to get ammo pretty regularly. I haven't quite gotten used to the control scheme for getting the special abilities. Like, if I hit, what is it? R1 and R2 at the same time. I'm sorry, no. L1 and R1 at the same time, it'll bring up my special gun. And I think it's, I forget what the other button combination is to do the other, but yeah, basically I'm so used to having a gun, pressing triangle or Y, whatever system you're on, and swapping to the next gun, X or what is it, square for reload. I'm used to things like that, not necessarily button combinations to do things. The last time I had to do a game like that was probably Fuse, which, don't get me wrong, was an awesome game too. A little limited, but still a fun game. Yeah, the knife, by the way, reminds me just of like Halo. And yeah, most of the characters actually kind of remind me of the old Halo characters, so like elites. Some of them remind me of like mixes of elites and brutes at the same time. That character right there, creature, whatever, reminds me of like a mixture of an elite meets one of those, what the hell were they? The weird flying bug things. Anyway, I can't remember their name. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. The music, and I hate the fact that, I read the article about O'Donnell not doing the music anymore. I liked the music, and this music still kind of makes me get that almost semi-Halo feeling, but obviously with a different touch or flavor to it, so it's not technically Halo. But it was kind of sad to find out he was not going to be working on the project anymore. I think he left Bungie, or anyway, there might have been a conflict of interest. I don't know all the details. It's not my business anyway, so. But it was kind of sad to hear, because that music. I mean, I'm a Halo fan. I will admit, I am a Halo fan. That is the reason I bought an Xbox to begin with back in the day. If it wasn't for Halo, I probably would not be on Xbox ever. But that's regardless. So as you can see here, I'm taking on a few of the main guys. There's one, not really, I guess, an elite, but you know, he's a much tougher, got a shield character. So I'm just gonna try a little trick here. Come on, buddy. Come on. Take your hideout. Shoot you guys while you're out in the open. Come into my trap, seduce spider to the fly. Accurate. I like that your health recharges. That's always nice. What's there, buddy? Yeah, the way those guys are shooting almost makes me think of the way hunters in the Halo series shot because of their green plasma stuff. Now, granted, those are more of like homing style. Yeah, see, like there was some clicking. Don't know what I picked up. Whatever. So now I'm going to start running through because I really just want to get to the end of the objective. That way I can get this over with. Especially considering I'm going in circles in this area. Might as well get the hell out of here. And yes, I have almost always, especially from the days of Halo, been kind of a run and gun kind of guy. Just get in there. Let my friends hang back so I can be the meat shield for everybody, in essence, or the bait. I don't mind taking one for the team, as long as the team progresses. As a matter of fact, when me and my friends used to play Halo on Legendary mode, I would always be the one who would run out, while two guys sat back with sniper rifles, and another guy would hang out behind a rock or something to kind of give support while I'm running into the middle of the fray and getting everybody's attention on me. I didn't mind, because I knew as long as the snipers weren't in you know, combat technically, I could actually spawn in on them and run back out and do it over again. And we would, I mean, it might take a little bit of time, but at least we didn't all die, and we would actually progress. I mean, it was very helpful when using certain skulls in the newer versions of Halo as well. Granted, I forget which skull it is right now, but the one where you basically, if one member dies, y'all all go back. Yeah, we really didn't try to use that skull too often. That got painful quick. So, yeah, just a little bit more of the element. And I really need to get out of here because, as you're probably getting the feeling, why has he just been hanging out here? Now, like I said, you do have to do some grinding in this game because leveling up does take a little while. I mean, you can already tell I haven't really moved much into level 4 there. Just checking out some of the terrain. Also checking out on the mini compass thing where I need to go. And like I said, if you notice, it is a little difficult to tell where you're supposed to be going, what's going on, unless you're constantly bringing out the little cube thing. Sorry, had to take a drink. And by the way, you do get upgrades. So, like for example, there's the I think it's whenever you level up to 5, or maybe you get a certain number of points, but you'll be able to get where you can throw a knife. I haven't tried it yet. I actually just unlocked it last night after, like, right before I stopped playing. When I level up here, either I just leveled up or will level up, but I've actually got a skill ability to, I think it's upgrade my weapon? Crap, I don't remember. We'll see whenever it comes up. But yeah, these guys are the ones that kind of remind me of elites in a way. Just because the way they move and their overall look. Yeah, I just love that grenade. It causes so much damage. And I love watching bodies fly. Does that make me disturbed? Morbid? Eh. I just like to have fun. Why can't everybody else have fun too? Alright. And, by the way, I did learn something in this game. You need to be sure to pay attention to the gear that you get and when you get it, because I was not paying attention at all. And you will see me die a couple times up here until I finally realize, oh, I need to equip gear. Yeah, there's that cube icon I was talking about, or cube thing I was talking about. And if you see far in the distance, it's straight ahead is where you're supposed to go. But it'll eventually go away. Like, okay, so I got to 1, now it's gone. But it's way off in the distance. So as long as I paid attention to that, then I'm good. But not paying attention to it, I could get easily lost. So yeah, it'd be kind of nice if there were some way where maybe the compass was a little brighter, or a little more noticeable, or a way that whenever you maybe track something, that you had a mini-map tracker mark line or something like that, just to let you know that you're heading in the right direction. I understand the compass has a little pointer on it, but there are times when that's just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like it's necessarily enough. And that may be just me. So don't take me on my word at it. Like I said, it's probably just me. I'm a little weird anyway. And, oh yeah, by the way, I did forget about this. So, you do get personal vehicles. You'll actually see here in a moment where I get on my own personal vehicle and I can drive around. It's like a little like an air bike in a way. You also get a ship. It's supposed to be like your transport ship, so when you leave this area and go into like the tower or other planets or whatnot, it's your main ship. And you can have apparently different styles. There's a vendor who sells them, and I think if I remember correctly reading, I forget where, it might be GameStop. If you pre-order it, you get a vehicle, like a upgraded vehicle or something like that, or maybe it's an upgraded airship. So I thought that was kind of cool to hear about. But yeah, here in just a moment, I think I switched to it. And also, this is the area where I wind up eventually running into one person. Like, the whole time, I'm like, okay, am I in my own campaign instance? What's going on? And then I realize, when, without thinking about it, I see somebody running around who's level 4, and I'm like, whoa, 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 who's that? And it winds up actually being another player. When once I get into the second half of this, we'll actually go to the tower area where you'll actually start seeing a bunch of people hanging out doing stuff. But in this zone, when I was here, I only ran across one person. Oh yeah, there's the vehicle,
You know, this
the
place
little air
must have
bike
been
thing.
amazing before the collapse. Thousands of humans boarding the colony
Boost
ships,
seems to
off
drain
build
pretty
cities
quickly,
beyond.
but
And
it's
now
not too bad. I mean,
fallen,
being able
just
to
picking its bones.
ride the bike in its own right is decent, so it's not that bad. It is. It does
the
take a
hill,
little bit to
the
get
building
used
with the
to
radar.
when actually
That's
steering.
the Skywalk.
That might just be my sensitivity controls as well. Oh yeah, of course. Run somebody over. Oh. Excuse me. Yeah. Sometimes, you know, rushing in is not the best thing. But it's all good. When you don't succeed, try again. And yes, I think I just popped that dude's head off. Alright, so coming up here in a moment, I will actually see the other player. As you can see over in the distance, there he is. That's when I realized, oh, I'm not the only one. And I figured, hey, while I'm out here, I'll go see what this guy's doing. Okay, so at first I thought it was not another player or somebody that I could wind up killing. You never know, PvP, something. But yeah, I eventually wound up deciding I was going to go for the objective. I think he winds up, oh yeah, so he winds up waving at me, coming over and hanging out. As a matter of fact, as soon as I wind up done killing these guys, I turn to face him and start trying to figure out how to talk to him and whatnot. But yeah, still haven't quite figured out the swipe technique on the PS controller. Knife, bitch! In your face! And that is it for this. I am actually, funny, about to cut over to the next half of this video. Hope you enjoyed this half, and see you momentarily.